Hi everyone, I'm Antoine, and today we're doing a sort of continuation from the video I did last week about how I compose music. Well, today we're talking about how I deal with writer's block. First of all, even though it's not specifically connected to writer's block or having writer's block, if composing is part of your life, I would highly recommend scheduling specific times in your week to compose. Usually waiting for the inspiration to strike. It happens, and you've seen in the past video that inspiration can happen at any time, but you shouldn't rely on that when composing. So every now and then when I have to come up with an idea for a video for you guys, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. So when I don't have inspiration, my two biggest sources of inspiration for videos are, first one, the comments. So you guys talking with you and answering questions that you ask me in the comments. That's the best source of inspiration for me. That way, if there are small questions, I can answer them in the comments. And if I feel that I can develop more and it can be interesting for more people, then I do a specific video on the subject. My second biggest inspiration when it comes to writing a video and coming up with good ideas is actually my wife. You wouldn't believe how many great ideas for videos come from just talking with my wife and saying, I don't know if I should talk about this, and she says, well, why don't you talk about this? And so tip number one for this video is get married. So here's how I deal with writer's block when it comes to writing music. And hopefully you can apply some of these tips to your music too. First thing that I do when I don't feel that inspired but I have to compose something, I go to my phone and check the things that I've quickly recorded here and there, some riffs, some melodies, to see if I find something appealing for me at that time. That's why if you don't have a sort of bank of ideas on your phone, I highly recommend you starting building one. Whenever you have an idea, just quickly record it, and even if you don't find it super amazing at that moment, maybe it will start something later or it will make you think of something later. So record it. The second tip will be listen, learn, and twist. Because sometimes you are composing a song and you don't have a verse or you don't have a chorus, or there's something missing. And sometimes you have a vague idea like, I sort of see a verse like this one from this song. And the easiest thing to do at that point is to listen to the sort of verse you want, learn it, and then twist it, so transpose it, change it a little bit, and integrate it into your song. As an example, there's a song from the album Sunrise, so my band's next and upcoming album, in which basically all the song was composed, but the chorus wasn't really that catchy. I mean, at first I had an idea, and in the end, what I composed wasn't really what I was aiming for. So I thought back at one song from Five Finger Death Punch that had the sort of chorus that I wanted, and so basically listened to it, learned it on guitar, transposed it to the right tonality for my song, and changed some tiny bits here and there to make it a little bit more my own, and voila. I mean, I'm super happy with the chorus of C'est Scandaleux, so that's the name of the song. So yeah, feel free to listen, learn, and twist whatever you want. The third thing that I tend to do when I'm not in the zone is basically work on my technique. It can be anything as long as you are playing your instrument and focusing on playing and improving your instrument. It's a great use of your time because even though you're not composing, you are still improving your playing and mastering your craft, so that's good on the long run. And sometimes an exercise can be musical enough so that it sort of ignites something in your brain and it gives you some musical ideas for next compositions. It tends to happen when you have a great exercise that you like and you start switching bits and pieces of it, and then, well, you go from there and change it completely. And what was at first a technical exercise turns into a riff that you can use into a song. The fourth tip might be a little bit unconventional, but ideas tend to pop up when your brain is half connected, half disconnected. So when you have your guitar noodling around, you are paying attention to what you do, but not that much. while, for example, playing and watching a YouTube video or Netflix or whatever you wanna do at that time. Sometimes being in a cool zone where you are relaxed and just noodling with your instrument can make ideas pop up, so feel free to try that too. The fifth tip, and one that I have used super recently when composing the solos for the album Sunrise, I'm actually doing it right now, is to change your approach. The example is I was composing a solo for one song and it took forever. I mean, I have some ideas here and there, but it really took forever. It took 2.5 hours to come up with something decent and not really recording ready, so just the composition. I was on Reaper, improvising and developing ideas here and there. I wasn't really going anywhere. And after that I said, well, maybe let's just change it a little bit and start from Guitar Pro. So I composed all my songs from Micmac on Guitar Pro, because that way the drummer and the bass player know what they are supposed to do. And so I said, okay, well, let's write the solo from the notation and see how it turns out. And I don't know why, but it made things much more easy. The first solo took 2.5 hours to sort of compose something good, and then in the same time I composed 3 solos on Guitar Pro. So yeah, feel free to change your perspective and tackle your problem from another point of view. Another tip for you, and I think it is number 6 by now, would be exploring new horizons. It can mean a lot of things, but I will give you an example and I think you'll understand. So basically, when composing the song Hands Off, I didn't have a riff that was appealing to me, so I started playing with my MIDI keyboard and the sequences that are in there. So basically a sequence, you press one key and it does a lot of things. So it's kind of so that's a sequence basically. And I found one sequence that could do the job, so I transposed it to guitar, changed it a little bit, and that ended up being the main riff for Hands Off. And the final tip, and probably the most important one, believe it or not, is that if nothing works, if really you are trying your best super hard to compose something and you're not getting anywhere, well, take a break. But take a real break, like just take a shower or something, just disconnect for a moment. You don't need to take a super long break, but take a real one. Once again, composing the solos for Sunrise, I wasn't going anywhere. I took a shower, got back to it, and it was much easier. So sometimes taking a break is the best thing to do. And that's it for this video. I hope that you found it useful, and also I hope that some of these tips will help you deal with writer's block. It's a pain in the ass, but you will get through it. If you have other ways of dealing with writer's block, well, please share them in the comment section of this video. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section of this video too. It will be my pleasure to answer them. It's always super nice to chit chat and getting to know you a little bit better. As always, if you want to support me and help me grow this channel, well, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. That being said, I've been Antoine, and I will see you very, very soon.